There's a modern trend in this country to get rid of the classic American novels and replace them with books that have protagonists and authors of color. And while I understand the attempt, I think it's a mistake. Or should I say, it can be a mistake. Because art is about the human experience. And when we divide up people by those identity markers, we stop to see one another as human. Perfect example is the play Hamilton. Hamilton is about a bunch of old white guys, pretty much, and it's played by a very diverse cast because that cast can recognize the common humanity in these people. Lin-Manuel Miranda read the Alexander Hamilton biography and said, this is a hip-hop story. He wasn't so focused on the fact that Alexander Hamilton was white. He was focused on the human experience. That's good. I'm not saying we should go back to doing blackface and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, when you have to play someone that is a different identity marker than yourself, you have to get into their head. That's what empathy is all about. And when we are canceling actors for playing a role of some sort of identity marker that they aren't, we're missing an opportunity to recognize that we are all human in this human experience. My strength as a teacher is translating ideas in a simple way to my audience, which is most often teenagers. And in this video, I'm going to talk about The Great Gatsby, because that's a book that is taken off the shelves because F. Scott Fitzgerald and all the characters are white. So let's pick up a book that has more themes that are relatable to students of color. And I read The Great Gatsby, which I love, and I go, are you crazy? This is the story for people of color. This is the story of Biggie Smalls when he sings Juicy. This is a story of my wife when she came to this country with 10 people and lived in a split one-bedroom apartment. This is the American story. There's a real problem here because in the remake, they picked Leonardo DiCaprio to play it where they should have picked someone like Michael B. Jordan. I mean, here's the breakdown of Great Gatsby. Sorry for the spoilers, but Jay Gatsby is from humble beginnings, poor. He falls in love with this white girl who's from wealth. And not just in love with her, but in love with the whole wealthy world, the upper class world. He falls in love with that, but they can't be together because he is low class. So he starts hustling. He becomes a hustler. What does he do? He sells drugs. He sells illegal alcohol. He sells drugs. He does illegal hustles and makes a ton of money, thinking that this will get him into the upper class. He adopts a lot of opulence. Mansions and fancy cars and jewelry and all of this stuff to show that he is wealthy, to show I am one of you, but they're off a little bit. His car isn't pure white, it's off-white. It's like when someone who is new money, let's say a black person or brown person is new money, they buy designer handbags and lots of jewelry, all the stuff that Kanye West talks about in You Can't Tell Me Nothing. That's the way he spends his money. And all of the upper class, super rich white people look down their noses, call his car a clown car, saying the way that you spend money isn't classy. It's classless. And the big confrontation scene in that movie or in the book between Tom and Gatsby, Tom is very clear. You will never be like us. It doesn't matter. Gatsby had more money than Tom. It doesn't matter. If you made your money in a shady way, not an appropriate way, which by the way, shady way, as if Wall Street isn't shady, as if big banking isn't shady, as if being an executive for big pharma isn't being a drug dealer, but it's acceptable. It's acceptable by high society. So it doesn't matter how much money you have, Gatsby, you'll never be like us. You'll never be like us. And that's what drives Gatsby crazy. That's what's so frustrating, is I'll never be upper class, even if I have more money than them. I can't be a part of that upper society. There are codes of what is acceptable in high society. I saw it when my family, which has never had anyone in their family tree that isn't white, and I married the first non-white person in my entire family tree from both sides. There are a lot of things like unwritten codes about what is acceptable and what isn't. And I'm not from tremendous wealth. But this is definitely a thing among people who are the uber wealthy. There's ways that you're supposed to act. There's things you're supposed to wear. If you want to be even like a little sexy or something, you have to do it this way, not this way. All those unwritten rules, Gatsby didn't know because he wasn't from there and he screwed it up. And I've seen this over and over and over again. And I think when we remove Great Gatsby from classrooms and the opportunity to teach it the way that I just explained here, We are missing a huge opportunity to address these very real societal issues, and that's a shame. It's a missed opportunity. If we teach it well, we can teach the classics, and we can teach them in such a way that opens up that there is a universal human experience, and that'll break down all the boundaries that we are putting up to separate us from one another. What are your thoughts?